2,100.
I'm sorry, sir, but we can't.
Make it 2,500.
Ask him to leave.
What happens when timeless Hollywood charm is passed from father to daughter? In this video, we explore the striking daughters of cinema's most legendary leading men. Some mirror images, others beautifully unique. But before we begin, can you recognize the woman in this photo? Her father was a blue-eyed icon of both stage and screen, and she inherited not just his looks, but his quiet grace. Drop your guess in the comments. And if we missed a famous duo you love, let us know. We may include them in the next video. You're watching The Famous People. Subscribe for more unforgettable Hollywood legacies.
Treachery and other unpleasant things.
Tony Curtis, Jamie Lee Curtis, Kelly Curtis, Allegra Curtis, Alexandra Curtis. Tony Curtis, born June 3, 1925 in the Bronx, New York, was one of the most popular leading men of the 1950s and 1960s. Known for his handsome looks, streetwise charm, and comedic timing, Curtis starred in over 100 films during his career. He delivered acclaimed performances in Sweet Smell of Success, 1957, The Defiant Ones, 1958, which earned him an Academy Award nomination, and the iconic comedy Some Like It Hot, 1959, opposite Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, well, I guess some like it hot. I personally prefer classical music.
What? What if he told him what? What could he tell him?
Sure. The columnists can't do without us, except our good and great friend JJ forgets to mention that. You see, we furnish him with items.
He passed away on September 29, 2010, at age 85 from cardiac arrest after a long battle with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Curtis was married 6 times and had 6 children, including 4 daughters, each with distinct lives and varying degrees of connection to the entertainment industry. His most famous child is Jamie Lee Curtis, born November 22, 1958, from his marriage to actress Janet Leigh. Jamie Lee became a celebrated actress in her own right, earning fame in horror films like Halloween, 1978, and The Fog, 1980, and later transitioning into comedy and drama with A Fish Called Wanda, 1988, and True Lies, 1994.
Wendy.
Oh, I'm so glad you like it, darling.
It's the most beautiful thing you've ever given me.
She won her first Academy Award for Everything Everywhere All at Once in 2023.
And the Oscar goes to...
Jamie Lee Curtis!
We just won an Oscar together!
Kelly Curtis, Jamie Lee's older sister, was born June 17, 1956. Like her parents, she pursued acting, though on a smaller scale. She appeared in films such as Magic Sticks, 1987, and The Devil's Daughter, 1991, and had guest roles in series like Star Trek, Deep Space Nine. Kelly eventually stepped away from acting to work behind the scenes in production and casting. While she never reached the same fame as her sister, she has remained active in the arts. Allegra Curtis, born July 11, 1966, is the daughter of Tony Curtis and his second wife, Christine Kaufmann, a German-Austrian actress. Allegra worked in European cinema and television during the 1990s and also explored entrepreneurship. She has remained based in Germany and speaks openly about the challenges and privileges of being part of the Curtis legacy. In recent years, she's written about her mother and father in German publications and memoirs. Alexandra Curtis, born September 24, 1983, is the daughter of Tony Curtis and his 6th wife, Jill Vandenberg. Unlike her half-sisters, Alexandra has kept a very private life. Though occasionally mentioned in estate matters following Tony's death, especially regarding his will, which controversially excluded most of his children, she has not pursued public-facing work and has largely avoided media attention. While Jamie Lee has dominated the headlines, each of Curtis's daughters has lived under the long shadow of a charismatic and often complicated patriarch. Tony Curtis's personal life was marked by tumult, including estranged relationships and legal battles over his estate, but his daughters carry forward pieces of his legacy in their careers, creativity, and resilience. Peter O'Toole, Kate O'Toole, Patricia O'Toole. Peter O'Toole, born August 2, 1932 in Leeds, England, was one of the most celebrated actors of the 20th century, renowned for his theatrical intensity and poetic charisma. He rose to global fame with his breakthrough role in Lawrence of Arabia, 1962, earning the first of his 8 Academy Award nominations.
The Ouder I'd heard of wouldn't need to summon help to look after his wealth.
Though he never won a competitive Oscar, O'Toole received an honorary Academy Award in 2003 for his body of work. Known for his commanding voice, razor wit, and larger-than-life personality, he was also a heavy drinker whose private life often mirrored the drama of his performances. He died on December 14, 2013, at age 81 from complications related to a long-term illness. O'Toole had 2 daughters with actress Sian Phillips, Kate O'Toole and Patricia O'Toole. Kate, the elder daughter, was born in 1960 and followed her parents into the world of theater and film. A graduate of the prestigious Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, RADA, Kate has worked primarily on the stage, appearing in numerous productions across the UK and Ireland. She has also served on cultural boards and was appointed chair of the Irish Film Board, championing independent cinema and emerging Irish talent. Kate O'Toole has occasionally spoken about growing up as the daughter of 2 powerhouse actors. She described her father as immensely generous and terrifyingly intelligent, but also acknowledged the emotional distance created by his demanding career and personal demons. Despite this, she has remained committed to preserving his artistic legacy, often representing the family at tributes and retrospectives. Less is publicly known about Patricia O'Toole, who has kept a very low profile throughout her life. Unlike Kate, she did not pursue a career in the arts or entertainment. She has occasionally been referenced in biographical articles or interviews, but she has avoided the spotlight and has not granted interviews about her famous family. Both daughters were present during the final years of Peter O'Toole's life and were reportedly close with him in his later, more reflective period. Though Peter and Sian divorced in 1979, he maintained strong bonds with his children, particularly after stepping back from the public eye. Gary Cooper, Maria Cooper Janis. Gary Cooper, born May 7, 1901, in Helena, Montana, was a defining figure of Hollywood's golden age. Known for his understated style and quiet strength, Cooper became the embodiment of the American hero. He starred in more than 80 films, including Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, 1936, Sergeant York, 1941, and High Noon, 1952.
But up north, they commuted it to life. Now he's free. I don't know how. Anyway, it looks like he's coming back.
The latter earning him his 2nd Academy Award for Best Actor. His calm demeanor and stoic performances made him beloved across generations.
John Wayne will accept the award for Gary Cooper.
Name writer and find out why I didn't get High Noon instead of Cooper.
He died on May 13, 1961, at age 60 from prostate cancer, just 6 days after his 60th birthday. Cooper had 1 daughter, Maria Cooper Janis, born in 1937, from his marriage to New York socialite Veronica "Rocky" Balfe. Maria grew up in a world of Hollywood elegance, but also experienced the quieter, family-oriented side of her father, who often retreated from the spotlight to spend time with her. She was just 24 years old when he passed away, and his death had a profound impact on her life and career. Maria initially pursued painting and became an accomplished visual artist, with exhibitions in the United States and abroad. Her artwork often explores themes of memory, Americana, and spirituality, perhaps influenced by the dual legacy of her father's stardom and grounded Montana roots. Though she stayed away from acting, she remained deeply engaged in the arts and in efforts to preserve her father's legacy. In 1966, Maria married world-renowned concert pianist Byron Janis, and the two became a prominent cultural couple. Over the years, Maria has contributed essays, interviews, and books about her father's life, most notably Gary Cooper, Enduring Style, 2011, which she co-authored. The book showcases Cooper's timeless fashion sense while also offering rare personal photographs from family archives. Maria has frequently appeared at retrospectives, film festivals, and museum exhibitions dedicated to her father, always emphasizing his humility, kindness, and enduring screen presence. In interviews, she has spoken warmly of their bond, describing him as a moral compass and an incredibly kind man behind the iconic silence. Richard Burton, Kate Burton, Maria Burton. Richard Burton, born November 10, 1925, in Pontrhydyfen, Wales, was one of the most electrifying stage and screen actors of the 20th century. Known for his booming voice and commanding presence, he was nominated for 7 Academy Awards and gained global fame through performances in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, 1966, The Spy Who Came In From the Cold, 1965, and Beckett, 1964.
If any of you have second thoughts, you may retire now. Thank you for attending us.
Playing cowboys and Indians to brighten their rotten little lives. Do you think they sit like monks in a cell, balancing right against wrong?
Soon, of course, the laughter became less general, but it did not subside.
His tumultuous love affair and 2 marriages to Elizabeth Taylor captivated the world. Burton died on August 5, 1984, at the age of 58, from a cerebral hemorrhage. His first daughter, Kate Burton, was born on September 10, 1957, to Richard and his first wife, Welsh theater producer Sybil Williams. Raised in the U.S. after her parents' divorce, Kate attended Brown University and later Yale School of Drama. She forged her own successful path in acting, becoming one of Broadway's most respected performers. On screen, she earned Emmy nominations for recurring roles on Grey's Anatomy and Scandal, and received Tony nominations for her work in Hedda Gabler and The Elephant Man.
Future, you snatch the one thing that I care about. You steal my future
Our
from me!
future, Sally, our
Kate has spoken candidly about her relationship with her father, whom she saw only sporadically during her childhood due to his intense career and high-profile lifestyle. Despite the distance, they reconnected later in his life, and she remains protective of his legacy. Kate has emphasized that while her father was a brilliant performer, he also struggled privately with alcoholism and inner turmoil, traits that made him both fascinating and fragile. Maria Burton, Richard's adopted daughter with Elizabeth Taylor, was born in August 1961 in Germany and was adopted by the couple shortly after her birth. Maria lived with Elizabeth Taylor following the couple's final divorce and has remained largely out of the public eye throughout her life. She has occasionally appeared at public events honoring either parent, but has never pursued a career in entertainment. Maria reportedly worked in education and social advocacy and has led a quiet life away from the media glare that followed her famous parents. Though not biologically related to Richard Burton, she was raised as his daughter during their marriage and is legally recognized as such. Rod Taylor, Felicia Taylor. Rod Taylor, born January 11, 1930 in Sydney, Australia, was a charismatic leading man who made his mark in both Hollywood and international cinema. He gained fame in the 1960s with starring roles in The Time Machine, 1960, The Birds, 1963, and The VIPs, 1963.
I'll try and get Amalgamated Motors to take you over. along with the 3,000 other people in our little family.
Is there an ornithological reason for keeping them in separate cages?
Known for his rugged good looks and commanding screen presence, Taylor often portrayed action-oriented, romantic heroes. He continued acting into his later years and made a memorable final appearance as Winston Churchill in Quentin Tarantino's Inglourious Basterds, 2009.
Breathe in.
He died on January 7, 2015, just 4 days shy of his 85th birthday, from a heart attack. Rod Taylor had one daughter, Felicia Taylor, born in August 1964, from his relationship with fashion model Mary Hylam. Felicia was raised in the United States and did not follow her father into the film industry. Instead, she built a notable career in journalism and television news, gaining recognition for her work as a financial reporter and anchor. Felicia Taylor worked for several major media outlets, including CNN International and CNBC. She was a correspondent for World Business Today and Business Updates, and also contributed to Bloomberg News. Known for her professional poise and sharp reporting style, she focused on economic trends, international markets, and global business news. Her calm presence on screen contrasted with the dramatic roles her father played in classic cinema. Despite their very different careers, Felicia has occasionally spoken about her relationship with her father. She described him as charming, larger than life, and deeply proud of her success. Though they lived in different worlds, one cinematic, the other journalistic, the bond between them remained strong, especially in later years. Felicia has maintained a relatively private personal life, especially following her departure from the spotlight in the mid-2000s and teens. She has occasionally appeared at film retrospectives honoring her father, but she has generally kept her focus on journalism, philanthropy, and personal privacy. Vincent Price, Victoria Price. Vincent Price, born May 27, 1911, in St. Louis, Missouri, became a legendary figure in horror cinema, renowned for his distinctive voice, refined manner, and chilling screen presence. Although classically trained and capable of great dramatic range, he is best remembered for Gothic films like House of Wax, 1953, The Fly, 1958, The Pit and the Pendulum, 1961, and the abominable Dr. Phibes, 1971.
My ultimate device of torture. And with the help of my pupils, yes. I'm rebuilding my exhibition from the ground up.
Beyond horror, he was also an art historian, gourmet chef, and avid collector. He passed away on October 25, 1993, at age 82 from lung cancer. His only daughter, Victoria Price, was born on April 27, 1962, from his marriage to costume designer Carrie Grant. Raised in a home filled with art, literature, and film, Victoria had a unique upbringing, deeply immersed in culture, but also aware of the public persona her father carried. Though she initially resisted the shadow of his fame, she later embraced his legacy in her own creative way. Victoria earned degrees in art history and became a college professor, writer, and inspirational speaker. She authored Vincent Price, A Daughter's Biography, 1999, an intimate and honest portrait that explored not only her father's career, but his complexity as a man. The book was widely praised for showing the softer, more intellectual side of a man most associated with horror and villains. Openly queer, Victoria has also spoken about how her father's open-mindedness and progressive beliefs helped shape her identity. She often recalls how he supported civil rights, denounced McCarthyism, and welcomed diversity at a time when it was far from common in Hollywood. In interviews, she describes him as a man of deep kindness, great curiosity, and extraordinary humility. Today, Victoria travels the world giving talks on creativity, personal transformation, and the power of storytelling. She has become the foremost guardian of her father's legacy. not just through film festivals and horror retrospectives, but also by continuing his commitment to art, education, and human connection. Fred Astaire, Ava Estair McKenzie. Fred Astaire, born May 10, 1899 in Omaha, Nebraska, remains one of the most influential dancers in film history. With unmatched elegance, rhythm, and grace, Astaire revolutionized musical cinema alongside partners like Ginger Rogers in classics such as Top Hat, 1935, Swing Time, 1936, and Shall We Dance, 1937.
Tying up my white tie, brushing off my tails.
He later starred in Easter Parade, 1948, and Funny Face, 1957, becoming synonymous with sophistication and style.
For me, you fill the air with smiles.
Now we go.
Beyond dance, he was also a talented singer and actor. He died on June 22, 1987, at age 88 from pneumonia. Astaire married once, to Phyllis Potter, a Boston socialite, in 1933. They had 2 children, including a daughter, Ava Estaire, born in 1942. Ava was only 8 years old when her mother passed away in 1954, an event that deeply affected both her and her father. Fred Astaire never remarried until decades later, and he remained especially close to Ava throughout his life. Though raised in the spotlight, Ava chose a private life away from Hollywood. She did not pursue acting or dance professionally, instead settling in Ireland after marrying businessman Richard McKenzie. She later became known publicly as Ava Estair McKenzie. Despite her quiet lifestyle, Ava has played a significant role in curating her father's legacy and protecting the Astaire name. Ava has attended numerous tributes and retrospectives dedicated to her father's work, often offering personal insights and rarely seen family anecdotes. She has been active in preventing unauthorized use of his image and has spoken out in favor of preserving the integrity of his performances. In interviews, she has described her father as modest, gentle, and utterly devoted to his craft. She has also served as a consultant on documentaries and books about her father, including Fred Astaire, an intimate portrait, and various BBC tributes. Her detailed knowledge and graceful presence have helped fans connect with Fred Astaire beyond the screen persona, revealing the devoted father, disciplined artist, and reserved gentleman behind the tap shoes. William Holden, Virginia Holden. William Holden, born April 17, 1918 in O'Fallon, Illinois, was one of the most magnetic and versatile actors of Hollywood's golden age. With a natural charm and rugged good looks, Holden starred in some of the era's most iconic films, including Sunset Boulevard, 1950, Stalag 17, 1953, which earned him an Academy Award for Best Actor, and Bridge on the River Kwai, 1957.
He doesn't know it, but I do. You'd leave your own mother here if the rules called for it.
The Germans know where Dunbar is.
How do they know?
You told them, Huffy. Who did?
Later roles in The Wild Bunch, 1969, and Network, 1976, confirmed his staying power across generations.
I am not putting Howard back on the air.
He died on November 12, 1981, at age 63, from a head injury sustained in a fall after a long struggle with alcoholism. Holden married actress Brenda Marshall in 1941, and together they raised 2 sons and 1 daughter, Virginia Holden, born in 1937, Brenda's daughter from a previous relationship whom William adopted. Although not his biological daughter, Virginia was legally and emotionally embraced by Holden and carried his surname throughout her life. Unlike many children of classic film stars, Virginia Holden made only a brief foray into acting. She appeared in a handful of minor roles in the 1950s, including an uncredited appearance in The Country Girl, 1954. However, she chose not to pursue a full-time career in Hollywood, opting instead for a quieter life away from the spotlight. She has rarely given interviews and maintains a low public profile. Despite her stepfather's global fame, Virginia reportedly had a close and respectful relationship with him. William Holden was known to be intensely private and often emotionally distant. But those who knew the family say he was deeply devoted to his children and helped provide them with stability amid his turbulent career and personal struggles. Virginia has occasionally appeared at events honoring William Holden, including retrospectives and screenings of his most important films. She has been described as gracious and warm, with a quiet dignity that mirrors her father's off-screen persona. Her rare public appearances are often greeted with admiration from classic film fans eager to connect with one of Hollywood's most enduring legacies. Carrie Grant, Jennifer Grant. Carrie Grant, born January 18, 1904, in Bristol, England, was the very definition of Hollywood elegance and charm. Known for his impeccable comic timing, suave demeanor, and distinct voice, he starred in a string of timeless classics, including Bringing Up Baby, 1938, His Girl Friday, 1940, Notorious, 1946, and North by Northwest, 1959.
2,100.
I'm sorry, sir, but we can't.
Make it 2,500.
Ask him to
sum up the whole work.
Well, I meant to let you go, Hildy, but you know how it is. You never miss the water till the well runs dry.
Oh, a big fat lummox like...
These aren't my clothes.
Well, where are your clothes?
I've lost my clothes.
Well, why are you wearing these?
With a career spanning over 3 decades, Grant worked with directors like Alfred Hitchcock and Howard Hawks and was nominated for 2 Academy Awards before receiving an honorary Oscar in 1970. He passed away on November 29, 1986, at age 82 from a stroke. Despite 5 marriages, Carrie Grant had only 1 child, Jennifer Grant, born on February 26, 1966, from his marriage to actress Diane Cannon. Jennifer was just 20 years old when her father died, but the two had an unusually close bond. After retiring from acting in the 1960s, Grant devoted himself to fatherhood and spent most of his time raising Jennifer, often turning down roles to be present in her life. Jennifer Grant followed her parents into acting, though with less ambition for stardom. She appeared in television shows throughout the 1990s and early 2000s, including recurring roles in Beverly Hills, 90210, Movie Stars, and guest spots on series like CSI and Friends. While she earned praise for her performances, Jennifer maintained a selective approach to Hollywood and chose not to chase the fame that defined her father's life. In 2011, she published the memoir, Good Stuff, a reminiscence of my father, Carrie Grant, offering a heartfelt and personal account of their relationship. The book portrayed Grant as a loving, gentle, and funny father, a contrast to his carefully curated public image. She emphasized his quirks, warmth, and unwavering dedication to her, painting a portrait of a man who found peace in late fatherhood. Jennifer has been a vocal guardian of her father's legacy. She has attended film festivals and retrospectives, worked with Turner Classic Movies, and actively manages Grant's estate to ensure his image is preserved with dignity. In interviews, she has described him as the most remarkable man I've ever known. Ronald Colman, Juliet Coleman. Ronald Colman, born February 9, 1891, in Richmond, Surrey, England, was one of the most distinguished and refined actors of early Hollywood. Known for his cultured voice, dignified bearing, and understated acting style, Coleman was a pioneer of the transition from silent films to talkies. He starred in acclaimed works such as A Tale of Two Cities, 1935, Lost Horizon, 1937, and Random Harvest, 1942. In 1948, He won the Academy Award for Best Actor for his performance in A Double Life.
If I bust out crying, it's going to be your fault.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am very happy, I'm very proud, and very lucky.
Coleman passed away on May 19, 1958, at age 67 from acute emphysema. He was married to British actress Benita Hume, with whom he shared not only a long-lasting marriage but also a quiet domestic life away from Hollywood excess. Their only child, Juliet Coleman, was born in 1944, when Ronald was in his early 50s. Unlike many celebrity children of the time, Juliet grew up largely outside of the spotlight and has remained a private figure throughout her life. Juliet did not pursue a career in entertainment, despite being the daughter of two actors. She was raised in Beverly Hills in a cultured environment, surrounded by classic film stars and literary influences. Her upbringing emphasized education, discretion, and refinement, much like her father's public image. Though very little is publicly known about her adult life, it is widely understood that she chose to live outside the film industry. Ronald Coleman was known for his measured and intellectual approach to acting, often portraying noble, introspective characters. His personal life echoed those same qualities. He was thoughtful, private, and devoted to his family. While he occasionally spoke about Juliet in interviews, he fiercely protected her from media attention. Juliet has made only rare public appearances, usually at tributes or retrospectives dedicated to her father's legacy. Her reserved nature has helped preserve the quiet dignity associated with Ronald Coleman, allowing fans to remember him for the sophistication he brought to the screen. Humphrey Bogart, Leslie Bogart. Humphrey Bogart, born December 25, 1899 in New York City, became one of the most iconic actors in Hollywood history. Known for his rugged charm, clipped voice, and tough but vulnerable persona, he starred in timeless classics like Casablanca, 1942, The Maltese Falcon, 1941, To Have and Have Not, 1944, and The African Queen, 1951, for which he won an Academy Award.
It'll be rough. I'm broke. If we do get out of here, it'll be with a couple of 100 gallons of gas and a few francs, just about enough to get us to Port-au-Prince, maybe.
Yeah, that's probably true. He only had a couple of hundred on him when I searched him late this afternoon at my office.
I bet they're asleep in New York. I bet they're asleep all over America.
The winner is Humphrey Bogart in the African.
We will receive a few words from him as he receives the Oscar.
Bogart was also known for his powerful on-screen chemistry with actress Lauren Bacall, whom he married in 1945. He died on January 14, 1957, at the age of 57 from esophageal cancer. Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall had two children, a son, Stephen, and a daughter, Leslie Howard Bogart, named after Bogart's friend and fellow actor Leslie Howard. Born on August 23, 1952, Leslie was only 4 years old when her father passed away, so her memories of him were shaped more by family stories and his legendary films than personal experience. Unlike her famous parents, Leslie Bogart did not pursue a career in acting. Instead, she charted her own path far away from Hollywood. She became a yoga instructor and nurse, dedicating her adult life to health, service, and wellness. Her life has been mostly private, with only limited public exposure through biographies or events honoring her parents. Despite growing up with two of Hollywood's most recognizable names, Leslie was raised largely out of the public eye. Her mother, Lauren Bacall, remained protective of her children following Bogart's death, focusing on providing a stable upbringing in New York. Leslie's decision to live a quiet, non-celebrity life has been described as a conscious choice to build an identity beyond the glamour of old Hollywood. Over the years, Leslie has appeared at select film retrospectives and Bogart-themed events, especially those hosted by her brother Stephen. who has worked to preserve their father's cinematic legacy. She has consistently declined interviews and avoided the spotlight, earning respect for her privacy and low-key lifestyle. Yul Briner, Victoria Briner. Yul Briner, born July 11, 1920 in Vladivostok, Russia, was one of the most distinctive and unforgettable figures of mid-20th century cinema. With his shaved head, regal presence, and commanding voice, he became a global icon through his role as the King of Siam in The King and I, first on Broadway, then in the 1956 film adaptation, for which he won the Academy Award for Best Actor.
Etc., etc., etc. The winner is Yul Briner.
He reprised the role over 4,600 times on stage throughout his life. Briner also starred in major hits like The Ten Commandments, 1956, The Magnificent Seven, 1960, and Westworld, 1973.
Anything wrong?
You offer me the world when you cannot even bring me the deliverer. Who killed Baka?
He died on October 10, 1985, at age 65 from lung cancer, having recorded a now-famous anti-smoking PSA that aired posthumously. Among his 4 children, his most publicly visible daughter is Victoria Briner, born in 1962 during his 4th marriage to Jacqueline Thion de la Chaume, a French socialite. Victoria was raised between the United States and Europe, often seen accompanying her father to red carpet events and theatrical performances during his later career. While she inherited his strong features and cosmopolitan demeanor, Victoria chose not to become an actress. Instead, she forged a path in the world of media and business. Victoria Briner became a successful entrepreneur and talent manager, founding a marketing and PR agency specializing in luxury branding and celebrity partnerships. She worked closely with fashion photographers and global brands, bringing together creativity and corporate strategy, a far cry from her father's theatrical roots, but still firmly within the cultural world. In addition to her professional endeavors, Victoria has remained an active guardian of her father's legacy. She has curated exhibitions of his photography. Yul Briner was an avid and talented photographer and has published collections of his behind-the-scenes images, offering fans an intimate glimpse of the man behind the myth. She also manages his estate and licensing rights, ensuring that his name and likeness are used with dignity and respect. Victoria has spoken warmly of her father in rare interviews, describing him as both larger than life and deeply devoted when off stage. She credits him with giving her a love of culture, discipline, and global perspective, qualities that have shaped her career and personal philosophy. Toshiro Mifune, Mika Mafune. Toshiro Mifune, born April 1, 1920, in Qingdao, China, to Japanese parents, is widely regarded as one of the greatest actors in the history of world cinema. Best known for his long collaboration with director Akira Kurosawa, Mifune starred in iconic films such as Rashomon, 1950, Seven Samurai, 1954, Yojimbo, 1961, and Red Beard, 1965. His intense screen presence, physicality, and raw emotional depth helped bring international recognition to Japanese cinema in the post-war era. He died on December 24, 1997, at age 77, from multiple organ failure following a long illness. Mifune had 2 sons with his wife Sachiko Yoshimine, but he also fathered a daughter, Mika Mafune, born in 1982, from a long-term relationship with his mistress and longtime personal assistant. Mika was only 15 years old when her father passed away, and her connection to him, both emotionally and publicly, was shaped more by legacy than direct involvement in his cinematic world. Despite the complexities surrounding her birth and her father's personal life, Mika eventually chose to enter the entertainment industry herself. In the early 2000s, she began working as a television personality and actress in Japan, appearing in dramas, variety shows, and independent films. While her roles have been modest in comparison to her father's legendary career, Mika became known in Japanese media circles for her candid interviews and emotional openness. She has spoken publicly about growing up in the shadow of a giant, never fully able to share him in life, but deeply aware of the legacy he left behind. Mika has described Toshiro Mifune as a distant figure, yet one she greatly respects. Her appearance and mannerisms have often drawn comparisons to her father, particularly in her direct gaze and calm demeanor. Beyond her television career, Mika has been involved in charitable causes and has occasionally appeared at retrospectives and memorials for Toshiro Mifune. In 2016, she was present at the unveiling of Mifune's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, representing the family with quiet dignity and gratitude. Errol Flynn, Arnella Flynn, Rory Flynn, Deirdre Flynn. Errol Flynn, born June 20, 1909 in Hobart, Tasmania, was one of the most electrifying stars of Hollywood's golden age. Known for his swashbuckling roles in classics like Captain Blood, 1935, The Adventures of Robin Hood, 1938, and The Seahawk, 1940, Flynn epitomized the dashing, roguish hero.
Brave but impractical. Now, we English are practical people. I've no intention of drowning with you.
Even a peaceful tinker must protect himself these days, Your Highness. Treachery and other unpleasant things.
Then I'll take her when you're dead.
Off-screen, he was equally notorious for his scandalous lifestyle, marked by affairs, lawsuits, and substance abuse. He died young on October 14, 1959, at age 50 from a heart attack, compounded by years of alcohol and drug use. Flynn had several children with different partners, including 3 daughters, Deirdre, Rory, and Arnella. His first daughter, Deirdre Flynn, was born in 1937 from his marriage to French actress Lily Damita. Deirdre largely stayed away from the public eye, choosing a private life far removed from Hollywood's chaos. In her few public comments, she has expressed a complicated love for her father, admiring his charm but acknowledging his self-destructive tendencies. Rory Flynn, born in 1947 to Flynn's second wife Nora Eddington, had a stronger connection to his Hollywood legacy. She worked as a fashion model in the 1970s and later became a photographer. Over time, Rory took on the role of family historian, curating her father's legacy with a mix of pride and realism. In 2009, she published The Baron of Mulholland. A Daughter Remembers Errol Flynn, offering intimate insights into a man revered on screen but troubled in life. Rory is also the mother of actor Sean Flynn, who starred in the Nickelodeon series Zoe 101. The most tragic figure among Flynn's daughters is Arnella Flynn, born in 1953 to his last partner, actress Beverly Adland. Arnella struggled with addiction and emotional instability throughout her life, a shadow perhaps cast by her father's own chaotic end and the tabloid-laced nature of her early years. Sadly, Arnella died in 1998, reportedly due to a drug overdose, though some accounts suggest liver failure was a contributing factor. Her death echoed the turbulence that marked much of the Flynn family's history. Though their paths diverged significantly, all 3 daughters lived in the long shadow of their father's fame. Deirdre chose anonymity. Rory stepped into a curatorial role, maintaining a balance between reverence and honesty. Arnella battled personal demons, some of which may have been inherited from the legacy of celebrity dysfunction. Rory has worked tirelessly to reshape public memory of Errol Flynn, emphasizing not just the headlines, but the human behind the myth. She has also been a key figure in preserving the Flynn family archive, contributing rare photographs and stories to documentaries and retrospectives. Laurence Olivier, Julie Olivier, Tamsin Olivier. Laurence Olivier, born May 22, 1907 in Dorking, England, remains one of the most revered actors in the history of British theatre and film. A master of Shakespearean roles and cinematic drama, Olivier's legendary performances in Hamlet, 1948, Richard III, 1955, and Wuthering Heights, 1939, earned him multiple Oscars and a knighthood.
The truth is, I remembered that my father was an emperor of China, and my mother was an Indian queen.
Until this misshaped trunk that bears this head be round impaled with a glorious...
He was the first actor to be made a life peer in the UK, becoming Baron Olivier in 1970. He died on July 11, 1989, at age 82 from renal failure following years of declining health. Olivier had 3 children in total, including 2 daughters, Julie and Tamsin Olivier, from his 3rd marriage to actress Joan Plowright. His marriage to Plowright marked a more settled chapter in his life, following his famously turbulent romance with Vivien Leigh. He and Plowright were married for nearly 3 decades, and their home was known for being filled with theater, literature, and culture. Julie Kate Olivier, born in 1966, chose a private life and has maintained a low public profile. She did not pursue acting or appear in public with the same frequency as her famous parents. Very little is publicly documented about Julie, reflecting her desire for anonymity and a life away from the glare of celebrity. She has occasionally been mentioned in interviews with her mother but never sought the spotlight. Tamsin Agnes Margaret Olivier, born in 1963, initially dabbled in acting, appearing in a few productions in the 1980s and 1990s. Though her performances received modest attention, she did not pursue a long-term career in front of the camera. Instead, Tamsin shifted toward other creative endeavors, including writing and theater work behind the scenes. Like her sister, she has lived largely outside of mainstream media. Both daughters have spoken respectfully of their father's legacy, though they've noted his complex and often distant nature. Olivier, though brilliant on stage, was known to be emotionally reserved at home, focused intensely on his work. His towering status in the world of drama often overshadowed his personal relationships. Claude Reigns, Jessica Reigns. Claude Reigns, born November 10, 1889, in London, England, was one of Hollywood's most distinguished and versatile character actors. Known for his suave voice and expressive performances, Reigns starred in some of cinema's most iconic films. He made a lasting impression as the titular character in The Invisible Man, 1933, and delivered unforgettable roles in Casablanca, 1942, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, 1939, and Notorious, 1946. Despite his commanding screen presence, Reigns was also revered for his humility and dedication to craft. He passed away on May 30, 1967, at the age of 77, due to an abdominal hemorrhage. His only child, Jessica Reigns, was born in 1941 during his 6th and final marriage to Rosemary Clark Schroed. Unlike many Hollywood children, Jessica was raised largely out of the spotlight, in part due to her father's protective nature. Although Claude Reigns was a global star, he maintained a quiet home life, far removed from the glamour of Los Angeles, preferring his Pennsylvania farm. Jessica later entered the entertainment industry, not as an actress, but as a producer and publicist. She worked behind the scenes in television and documentary production, finding her own path in the media world. One of her most notable contributions has been preserving and promoting her father's legacy through interviews, commentary, and archival projects. Jessica served as an executive producer on several documentaries that spotlight classic Hollywood and her father's filmography. In interviews, Jessica has described her father as brilliant, gentle, and deeply introspective. She has shared personal anecdotes that reveal a man who was both intensely private and incredibly nurturing in his own quiet way. Her accounts offer rare glimpses into Claude Reigns' personal world, far from the image of the polished, commanding figure audiences saw on screen. Jessica has also appeared at retrospectives and film festivals celebrating her father's career, providing valuable commentary and preserving his memory for newer generations of film enthusiasts. Through her efforts, Claude Reigns continues to be discovered and appreciated by audiences worldwide. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time and legacy. Whether strikingly similar or charting their own paths, these daughters help us remember why we fell in love with Hollywood in the first place. If you spotted an inaccuracy, your gentle correction is always welcome. We strive to get better with each video. This is The Famous People. Subscribe for more stories that connect generations of stars and their families.